Hi guys and welcome to the video. So today I am going to be showing you a healer build for Zariel. Now I am on the preview server, so please bear with me because you don't get VIP benefits on the preview server, so my HP is actually higher than what it is when it's on live. But all this gear I've got is all what I've got on live as well, so there's nothing here that I can't reciprocate on the live server. So first, let's get into it. So, in terms of gear, it's a little bit different from my healer build that I put up originally on previously before for my regular healer build for Tower of the Mad Mage and for dungeons, etc. So a couple of bits of the gear has changed. So if we start from the top left, we've got the Lion Guard's Mystic Cowl. And I am using a Greater White Dragon Glyph in an overload slot just for that extra healing going out. I've modded it with HP because we need the HP. And then I'm using darks on utility all around, apart from 2 because I still have not got those other 2 dark enchantments from my previous videos. But yeah, that is what you'll want to be using. Particularly the Mystic Cowl because you get more critical strike and a bit of crit avoidance, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Secondly then, I've changed my main armor piece to the Infernal Forged Robe. This is mainly for the extra HP that it gives, and then I've modded it with HP again. Defense slot is a Radiant this time to give me more HP, and a Bark Shield enchantment is the one I went with. You can use Negation if you like, but I think Bark Shield is better overall because it blocks so much more damage. So then for the arms, I've gone for the Lion Guard Raid Wrist Guards. Again, this is same from before, it's just this time I've modded it with HP. And I've also put a Resilience of the Depths, which is the plus 5% physical damage reduction, because it does help when you get the certain phases on you in Zariel, and she can literally one-hit you, and it does my head in. So I popped that on, and that seems to have helped quite a bit. Then for weapons, we've got the Lionheart set again, because they are the best in slot at the moment, and they are with Radiance in offense and a Vorpal in the enhancement slot, purely because Vorpal will give you better critical heals, and obviously the Radiance give you more power. I've changed the modification on this to increase healing done by Soul Reconstruction by 10%, because I still use Soul Reconstruction, purely because it doesn't take as much soul weave as what your tab ability does, and you can do it to individual people rather than just the one person that has the mark. Same with the Grimoire, I've modded it to HP and crit severity, and then there's Radiance in offense and defense. That's all I can really say about those weapons. And then for the boots, again, modded with HP, Dark Enchantment in utility, and purely because as it stacks up it gives more power, but it does give a lot of HP as well. Then moving over to the neck, waist and artifact set. I've changed this from the Wyvern set because you move around quite a lot in Zariel. It doesn't really benefit having that rune on the ground that increases their damage, so for a healer it's better to have the extra outgoing healing. Now it is a hard set to cap the HP with, because obviously if we look at the item level of the Tiamat set is 575 and the HP it gives is 22,000. If we jump to like the Wyvern set, it's 980, so it's nearly double, and it gives 37,000 HP, so you're getting nearly double the amount of HP than what you would with the Tiamat set. But the extra 5% outgoing healing I would say is needed. So that's why I'm using that set, and I will show how I cap it all with the HP and that in a bit. As you can see, my HP is 516k, so enough for Zariel. Utility slot here, I'm using a Brutal because I didn't have any Darks, and then a rank 13 Radiant, which is what I got at the time. Like I said, it's still a work in progress for me. This is my own personal build. It's still a work in progress. I'm enjoying playing the game and doing these things, and that's why I make the videos for you guys. So then we jump to the Sash. Again, utility slot is a Brutal rank 12 because I don't have anything else, and a Radiant in the defense for HP, and obviously the Tiamat Orb to complete the set. I am actually running the Tiamat Orb on primary because of the damage reduction that you get, which is 15% for 6 seconds, and it really, really helps with the white noise. So if you've got someone in your party who has this, you want them to run it, trust me. So going back to gear then, rings, I've got the Ring of Fallen Power +5, I'm using a rank 10 Radiant and a Brutal rank 15, because again, that's all I got. But it does, as you can see, the stats are fine. And then Striking Ring of the Veteran with a Brutal, 2 Brutal, sorry. I'm not really worried about the equip perk on that, it's mainly for the amount of crit that it gives. And same with that one, that it's good for the crit it gives. Crit avoidance, this is something I'll talk about now. In Zariel's trial, you might think, oh wow, his crit avoidance is only 80k, but the cap is 90, 95k. Well, yes, that's true. But whereas in Tower of the Mad Mage, where the hypos will always come on the healer, they don't in Zariel, they can go on the DPS. So it's pretty pointless to have the crit avoidance and worry about capping that when you might not even get the hypo on you. And in all the training I've done so far, I've had it once. So it's very rare that it does always come on the healer, so crit avoidance you don't really need to worry about. And that really helps with balancing the other stats because you don't have to worry about capping that. Like for me, I'd have to get another 15k crit avoidance, and I wouldn't be too sure how I'd do it, to be honest. I'd have to rejiggle things around in that, but yeah, it's not too bad. Crit avoidance is 80k already, so anyway, back to gear. So like I said, Striking Ring of the Veteran for the critical strike. I'm not really bothered about the melee powers do 3% more damage. I don't do melee, so it doesn't matter. It's purely for the critical strike that it gives. And then for shirt and trousers, again, the ones that give the most HP at the moment in the game, the Infernal Forged stuff. So I've got the Infernal Forged Restoration shirt. And what also helps is that you'll gain AP with this shirt, and it gives a good chunk of HP as well, and it gives crit strike, which is what you want. And again, with the trousers, a defense slot with Radiant, good HP off it, and a bit of defense, which as you can see, my defense is well over cap, but it all helps at the end of the day. And then finally for artifacts, we've got the free books. As we have discussed this before, especially in some posts that I've seen on my videos, I've tried to advise people that if you can't get the free books because you weren't around when the event was on, you can't look at other artifacts, such as you've got Arcturia's music box. So you want to be looking at any that are item level 300 or higher. Item level 300 for the stats that it gives. You've got Staff of Flowers, you've got Trobian's Ring, you've got Halister's Blast Scepter. What else have we got? We got the Coated Knives, Book of All Darkness. So there's plenty of artifacts out there that you could fiddle about with to balance your stats out. You can also go for the Sword of Zariel, I think is another one now. And there is another one as well, and it's not coming to my head. But there is another artifact out there that you can use, and it gives HP as well. So in terms of gear, that's pretty much my build on the gear. So I'll next jump to Boons. So again, all power for the campaign Boons, all HP, outgoing healing on your tier 5 along with crit severity, and then your master boon you want blessed advantage. There will always be your healing ones. It wouldn't matter whether you're a cleric, warlock, or paladin. These would always be your heal boons. From what I could see, I couldn't see anyone using like recharge speed. You don't really need it because your heal skills are based off divinity, so they don't really go on a cooldown. 4% recharge speed is not that much anyway. If it was something like 40%, then yeah, definitely. But 4%, it would completely be outweighed by like the outgoing heal bonus, having an extra 2% outgoing healing and 4% crit severity. You know, they outweigh recharge speed or AP gain. And then again, I've just gone for movement speed, companion influence, and to tot off some other stats and that. Like I didn't really have anything else I could put points into, so that's why I went for crit avoidance here. And even to the point where I've put into gold bonus. Because I didn't need to put it anywhere else. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my campaign boons. Guild Stronghold, I would advise crit severity, but the guild I'm in on preview doesn't have crit severity, so I've had to choose the power one. HP, because we need that HP, and as you know, my defense is capped completely. Utility revive sickness if you've got it. It just helps to reduce the resurrection sickness that you get when you die, because you will die. I can tell you now, I've died, I wouldn't even want to guess, probably close to 100 times during Zariel. Yeah, fun times. So I'll move over to mounts. Obviously, we got the mount changes now. I've actually gone for... In fact, mine will probably be higher now because on live I've got more mythic mounts. So this will probably be higher again. I haven't checked, but I'm running the mythic T-Rex. Dash of life for the extra HP. And then obviously Gallop, you don't need to worry about that because you're not getting on your mount in Zariel. But yeah, my mount bolster on live is 55%, so it'll be higher. This will probably be close to 10,000 HP now. And again, in the stable, I'm using, for collars, I've got the crit severity and one for at will. I did buy the at will one and I got the crit severity one. I am not upgrading these past epic because it's too costly at the moment. So I'm just waiting on those. But again, like I said, this is preview, so these will be staying here as they are. And then I'm just running 3 Gladiator Guiles, Barbarian's Revelry, and Artificious Persuasion. All my insignias are Brutality and Dominance, apart from 3 of them. I've got 1 doing Courage, which is Defense and Crit Avoidance, 1 Skill, which is doing Crit Strike and Combat Advantage, and then I've got 1 Fortitude doing HP and Defense. I could now switch out this one here for another Fortitude. It's just they are expensive. So at the moment, I am more than happy with sticking with the Courage one. Or I could even swap it out for another Skill one to give me more Crit Strike. But this is working for me at the moment, so I'm not too fussed on changing things around. So yeah, next stage is Companions. So in Companions, obviously you want your 3 bonding runestone rank 15s. I use the baby polar bear. My bolster is still not 15% yet on these. In fact, I don't think I got any bolster at 15%. Oh, yep, I got mystical at 15%. So my chicken does a lot of damage, basically. How exciting. So yeah, I've got 3 legendary here. I'd still need another 2 to get my bolster all the way up to 15%. And same with my DPS side, I need 1 more in creatures to get it to 15%. But yeah, in terms of gear, then I'm using 2 gold icon of the companions for the crit strike and 1 chained icon of the companion for defense, and that is how I cap my defense. But then defense slots, I'm using 2 profanes, I'm using 2 empowered on the offense here, and I'm using 2 empowered on the offense here. Now, some of the runestones you will see aren't rank 15, because I was playing around with things, trying to balance the stats out. I was nicking runestones off other characters, and this is basically the best I could get at the moment. Obviously, we'd want that empowered there to be 15, because that's a lot more power, and we maybe would want to take off that profane on the defense and put something else on. I just didn't have anything else I could put on there. I could put an empowered on there, but the problem with the empowered is HP doesn't transverse from your companion to yourself, so it would literally be a pointless thing to do. And a profane is the only thing I had to slot on there extra, so that's why my defense is so high. And then if we look at the mount things down here, the companion things down here, Potent Precision, always for crit severity, Baby Polar Bears, outgoing healing, Baby Deep Crow for power, Never Ember Guard for outgoing healing, Quicklin for outgoing healing, and then the Enagon for the HP. The only one here is this one that's not fully upgraded to legendary. All the rest are. So it's only this one I got to work on. That'll give me another 0.6% outgoing healing. And then finally, if we take a look at my stats, we have got outgoing healing is 20.9%. My crit severity is 127.5%. But this is all unbuffed. So if I was to buff up now with what I use, one of them, one of them, one of them, I now have 132.5% crit severity. Did I miss something? What's on the extra squash? Yeah, that's everything on. You can see I got 165k power, well 166, 190k crit severity, 97.5k defense, and they are my stats, and then 514k HP. Now what I sometimes do when I'm running the Zariel trial is I won't use Squash Soup, instead I will use Caprice, because Caprice will take my HP to 540k nearly, and again, HP is king in this game at the moment. So the HP does it very, very good job at keeping you alive. I don't think there's anything else I need to talk through on this video, apart from powers, but the powers actually have stayed the same. I don't use anything different. I still use Soul Reconstruction and Eldritch Blast. I use Pillar of Power, Revitalize, and Soulstorm. Soulstorm is still my main heal. I use Soul Barrier and Soul Pact. These have changed slightly because I was using Soul Siphon before. The reason why I've changed to Soul Pact is because when you're moving around, the thing with Soul Barrier is it stays in one place. With Soul Pact, it will affect everyone and you can still move around. So sometimes it is better to use this, and it still reduces your damage resistance is increased by 10% for you and your party. But it only applies to 4 other allies, so only the people in your party, whereas Soul Barrier will do everyone that stands in it. So it is a little bit of a trade-off, because then you're risking the other 5 people. But what can you do, eh? It's better to have 5 people protected than 10 people not protected, because this is just in one place. And you also don't lose your life back with this, you just lose some health. But that's fine because you can just heal yourself as you're going around. Whereas this, you lose your life back for a bit as well. The only feat I have changed, because I was testing it, and it probably does work out better in Zariel. As you can see, my class feats I still kept Borrowed Spirit for the when you get healed by another player's heal, you gain Soul Weave, and Soul Bond when they're below 50% health, they receive a heal. The only feat is this one here, where I was using Essence of Time. Increases soul regeneration every 3 seconds and can stack up to 4 times. I'm now using Essence of Power. Whenever you deal damage to an enemy, your soul regeneration rate is increased. And this is purely because I'm always using my Eldritch Blast. If you're the type of player that doesn't want to do any type of DPS as your healer, and you're running Infernal Barrier on one mouse click and Soul Reconstruction on the other mouse click, you will want to go for Essence of Time. But what you have to be careful of if you're doing a build like that is the fact that both of these skills use Soul Weave. So even though their cost is low, this will only work when an action doesn't consume Soul Weave. So if you're constantly using these two, this will get reset every time you use one of these skills. So that's all I'd say you've got to be careful of. The only skill in this build, if you were to run those two, and the powers I've got, would be Pillar of Power, because that doesn't require any Soul Weave. So yeah, that's my build for Zariel. It seems to be working okay. I am in training at the moment doing it, so I haven't yet completed it. I'm sure we'll get some videos out once we get some completions going in, and show you guys how to do it. So take care, have fun, and see you in the next video.